What up, y'all? This episode is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not sponsored, but they should sponsor me. Dunkin' Donuts over Starbucks every time. Don't at me. That's the truth. Alright, let's get right into it. We have no time to waste. UFC 229, Khabib versus Conor. Oh, man. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's talk about the actual fight itself. The fight itself was amazing. It was back and forth, not as back and forth as maybe some people would have liked, but it was. Third round, I believe Conor won. The first round, Conor had his early successes fighting off the takedowns. Ultimately, Khabib got him down, but once he was down, he had a hard time actually inflicting any damage to him. A lot of control, which of course zaps your energy. I mean, if somebody has your legs locked over each other like this, and then just triangling your legs and just breaking you down every time you try to make any kind of space, that just taxes not only your mental, but it taxes your energy system. Of course, we saw Conor get a little winded, but I mean, can you blame him? The fucking guy is a Dagestani bear rolling around all over him, breaking his posture down over and over again. But I personally thought Conor did pretty damn well, all things considered. We see people like Edson Barbosa or Michael Johnson who might be better wrestlers or anti-wrestlers than Conor in just a pure wrestling sense, but they got beat up a lot worse than Conor did. I think it's because they were just so focused on trying to get back up, like by any means necessary. Like, I cannot be on the ground, where it's like, well, if you do that, you're opening yourself to be broken down over and over again. Oh, and by the way, you're not hand fighting, which is what Conor was doing. And once you give Khabib free hands, you eating these Dagestani sandwiches for lunch, dinner, breakfast, brunch, whatever you want. You getting them. So Conor did great. Of course, come the second round, Khabib throws a right hand that might have literally been the fastest right hand he's ever thrown in the history of his life. That thing was ridiculous. Dropped Conor. Conor showed great composure. Unfortunately for him, it ended up with him getting dumped, and that's when all hell really broke loose. Khabib really broke that ground and pound. Of course, Conor really had no way to control Khabib's posture. It was like an open guard situation, and man, Conor ate it. I thought Herb Dean was going to stop the fight on several occasions. He didn't. To his credit, Conor was able to keep going. He showed no quit. Of course, the third round was a bit weird, whereas Khabib kind of took his foot off the pedal for a second. Now, I don't believe it's because he was tired. I keep seeing that. I don't believe Khabib gets tired in grappling situations. I really don't. His body is just so accustomed to being in that world. I really don't believe he can fatigue there in a 5-5-minute round fight. Jesus, that's hard. You try saying that. But what he does do, I believe, is he picks his spots. He knows that, okay, Conor he's tired. I just hurt him. There's no sting on his punches. I don't believe he can hurt me, so why don't I try to impose my game onto him? My game in his sense right now being his boxing. And I also think it's a way for him to kind of recharge his battery a little bit so he can really push the issue come the fourth and the fifth round, but we obviously ended up seeing he didn't need it. If you saw my previous vlog for me prepping my tournament, which by the way, November 17th, I believe, I'm getting ready for it, it's going good. I predicted a third round submission. It ended up being the fourth round. If Khabib really would have pushed the issue, maybe he could have finished it in the third. Who knows? All I know is that if I did bet money on it, which I didn't, I would be pissed. But eventually, come the fourth round, Khabib gets him down. Conor turns, gives his back, whether willingly or not, doesn't matter. Finishes the choke. Anybody who says that isn't a choke, or anybody who says he's a wuss for tapping, you're an idiot. You've never been put in a neck crank or a tight situation like this. Khabib had his gable grip, took it to Conor's far shoulder, stuffed his arm behind Conor's shoulder. There's no way he's getting out of that. Maybe the only way he could have done that is by turning it to Khabib, but like at that point, your gas is gone, you're hurt. I mean, like, who knows? That's craziness. Conor tapped because that shit hurts. You would tap. If Khabib put you in that, you're tapping. And then after the fight, of course, the whole melee. I mean, so many people have talked about it. I think it was, it was interesting and it was like fun to watch. Not in the sense that like, wow, I approve of what's going on. But I couldn't help myself be like perplexed, and I was smiling throughout it. But then afterwards, I was like, man, why the hell was I smiling? Like, that is not really something that we should be promoting, or that should be here, as far here in the sense of like in a martial arts arena. But it happened both ways. Both Conor, of course, with the Dolly incident in Brooklyn, and now this and Khabib and his team in Vegas. I wish neither one happened, but here we are. We have to accept the reality that it did happen. I saw Firas Zahabi had really not a cool quote to say that. Like, essentially, he bullied the bully, and I really do believe that's what it was. Khabib had enough of what was happening, and he decided to do something about it, and he did. Now, fast forward through all that. This is the juicy stuff. Khabib just came out and actually on Instagram, and I kind of want to read out some of the coolest quotes from it because he is he's about that life, bro. He really is. So he says, "I would like to address the UFC. Why didn't you fire anyone on their team when they attacked the bus and when they injured a couple people? This is true. Artem is still employed. He was part of that. In any case, punish me." His friend, which I'm going to go ahead and butcher his name, Zubaira Tukugov, has nothing to do. Khabib is claiming that Conor punched him first, which if we see the video, he kind of did. I mean, it was really simultaneous. It was in the moment. But from what I've seen, it really did look like that. And this is the crazy part. If you decide to fire him, you should know that you'll lose me too. We never give up on our brothers in Russia. Oh, and one more thing. You can keep my money that you're withholding. You're pretty busy with that. I hope it doesn't get stuck in your throat. Listen to me. Khabib is different. That dude is... When he called Iaquinta a real Brooklyn gangster, he's the real Brooklyn gangster. He means what he says. I honestly cannot wait to see what happens with all that. I can't imagine that the UFC will let Khabib walk away right now. I mean, he's such a star. It's like... His trajectory is like this. I assume that they're going to find a way, whether Dana picks up that phone and gets Lorenzo back on the line and is like, yo, I need you to negotiate one more for me. I don't know. But it's really interesting. Khabib is playing hardball, and the UFC doesn't like when people play hardball with them. But then again, the people that like to play hardball with the UFC aren't in the negotiating position that Khabib is. Where does this go? I don't know. I'm interested in tuning in. All I know is that right now, Dana White's head must be as hot as Derek Lewis's balls are, because I assume he didn't see this coming. I stuck that one in. I can't wait. We'll see what happens with Khabib. We all got to tune in to find out. People post it on his Instagram feed. Of course, please subscribe to me, first name Castro, on both Instagram, Twitter, and here on YouTube. I want to be sharing my thoughts with what's going on in the MMA world, the BJJ world. And of course, I'll be competing in my first tournament next month, and I'm updating my training for that. Until next time, peace, guys. Enjoy. Make sure your balls aren't hot, man. If you have to, take your shorts off, guys. It's okay. Peace, guys. Much love.